Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for the 2021 Classic Roundup here in Tamworth. Once again, we're back in the big shed. Great horses, great cattle. Here with me today, Felicity Burton, the new co-host for the Classic Roundup. Felicity, great start to the day.
It was, Brett, wasn't it? Fantastic. There's been some wonderful drafting today, so it's really been great to witness, and I can't actually wait to see the next half of the open draft tomorrow morning.
Now, this is the 14th year the Classic has been running. It is phenomenal that we've come from the tin shed over at the showgrounds to 14 years here. It's where we've gone from there. Can't stop this sale.
No, that's right. It seems to get bigger and bigger every year. And, you know, that's testament to Mark Barton and all of the team at Nutrien. I think they've got a fantastic team there, and it just keeps growing every year, and it's always really exciting to see what they're going to change each year. You know, there seems to be more prize money and more horses and more events, more incentives. So it's always great to see that Nutrien program come out and, anticipate coming to this event.
You talk about money. The whole event here is $363,869 for cash and prizes. It's just phenomenal.
It's fantastic, isn't it? What other event do we have in Australia, a horse sport that, you know, contributes that much back to our industry and, you know, directly back to our competitors and our breeders and our owners? It doesn't just go straight to our winners and, you know, that are in the winner's circle, but also back to our breeders and the riders and whatnot. So it's certainly fantastic to see.
$147,000, or $147,500 to be exact, for the Classic Camp Draft.
Yep.
In cash. And not only that, $50,000 to the winner, but $20,000 for second. A lot of other big drafts around the place have got the big carrot, the big bag of money for first, and it drops away.
Yeah.
Here in Nutrien, they think of everybody, all the way down, you know, horse trailers for the challenge. It's just amazing. Belt buckles, it's just amazing what the people can win and take away from Tamworth.
It certainly is fantastic, isn't it? And I'm just so excited to see who's going to be the one to take all this money away and all the prizes, and such a huge thanks to our sponsors that support this amazing event.
There's 596 horses catalogued to go through the sale next week. You can't blame, I didn't find the right horse to come back and win the Classic or the Challenge.
Yep, he's there.
If 596, if you can't find one out of there, you're not trying hard enough.
Yeah, that's right. I think, you know, as a breeder and owner, that you earmark these horses from when they hit the ground, that's going to be one that's going to go back through the Nutrien sale. So that sort of preparation, you know, can be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years in the making to get these horses back to this Nutrien sale and line them up for these incentives. So just goes to show what's behind the scenes.
So anyone looking to do their homework, the pre-work start on a Tuesday. You're going to see 596 horses come through that sale ring, so you can tick and flick in the catalogue, do your homework, get the syndicate together, buy it on your own, come back to win this big money next year. We've got all that money this year. What are they going to do next year?
Yeah, that's right. We'll just have to wait and see, won't we?
Now, another addition this year will be the Auctions Plus platform. Mm-hmm. To do the bidding online at home. It's live, it's interactive. It's been one thing with COVID this year. There's been some new avenues explored within the horse industry. The guys up there at Toowoomba led the way in this. Now we're getting to see it here with another platform to be able to buy these horses.
Yep, absolutely. And, you know, the way Nutrien have gone about this is so very professional, and, you know, I think they've got all the bases covered. We're making sure we've got our social distancing happen, which is at the end of the day up to the competitors and the people that are here on the grounds to make that happen. You know, it's not something that can be policed. It's really something that, you know, we've got to look after each other for the betterment of our competitors and the community, and I think that's really important that we're doing that and continue to do so over the course of the event. So this morning we kicked off with the Martin's Stock Haulage Open first round. We had half of the competitors go through the process of completing their run. We've now finished that first half, and so far we've got the leaderboard sitting at 93 points. We've got Peter Bolton up there on a horse called Reflex, which is by Acres Destiny, I believe. Peter O'Neill on Flutter, 92 points. That horse is out of Flurry by Lawler's Mandana. Then we've got Ben Hall on Jackson, 92 points. That's a Play Rio, and I'm pretty sure Ben's mount in the NCCA Open Rider camp draft later in the week. Ben McNaughton on Conway, he's also on 92 points, a conman. And Rob Leach on Hazelwood Congressman on 92 points, also a conman. So it's fantastic to see these horses with this unbelievable breeding, and the outstanding amount of riders that we have here is just incredible to see.
We also make mention to the judge that's all the way from the Northern Territory in Marie Balmain.
Yes.
She got to witness some amazing camp drafting there this morning. The cattle from Matt and Kylie Webber, all the way in from Oxley Station, and to be able to sit out the front there and give 65, 66 for horse work, it's just a great atmosphere on what we're going to expect all the way through this program.
Unbelievable, hey? It's just so lovely to see. So tomorrow afternoon we'll recap the rest of the Masters Camp Draft that's currently on, the Navajo Masters Camp Draft that's currently running right now, and I'm pretty excited to see where everybody sits at the end of today.
We seen the whip crack, and we were down there to see the very start of that. There was the first run out was Morgan Webb. We seen him, of course, he's beautiful drought master. Steer there today, so we can't wait to see the recap on that. We've got some big name horses, Proud Little Pepto, Stevie Comiskey, so stay tuned. That could be a huge recap tomorrow.
Yep, that's right. We've also got Metallic Storm, a metallic cat that sold here last year, so can't wait to see some numbers come through and some results, and we'll bring that to you tomorrow.
So stay with us, guys. After the ad, we're going to come back with Sean Dillon, the judge of the 2021 Nutrien Classic here at Tamworth. Welcome, Sean, to the roundup here this afternoon. You've seen some drafting out there today. We've spoken about some big rounds that you have seen. Very exciting to be here to swing the whip.
Yeah, definitely it is. It's obviously the open drafts are a different event altogether to the classic, but it's great to see. The cattle are running well, the arena's good, the surface in the cutouts is good a surface as you'll find for a cutout anywhere in Australia, and the outside's been prepared, manicured, you could almost say, and without having had a lot of activity here over the last 12 months, it's a real credit to the team that they've got the arena surface as good as it is, and the weather's been really kind today. I mean, it's a summer's day, but it hasn't been a welfare issue for anybody. So if this continues for the next 4 or 5 days, we're in for a ripper time, I think.
Yep, absolutely. So Dillo, Mayor of Barcaldine, ACA acting president. You would have your fair share of understanding to do with the COVID safe plans and what Nutrien would be going through to deal with COVID right now. What's your take on what you've seen so far, and how they're going with the event and the planning and the running of it?
Yeah, look, hands down, as good as effort as I've seen. Like, this is a major commercial event, but it's also a major social event, and you need one for the other to work.
Yes.
And to have the thousands of people from 6-week-old babies through to 90-odd-year-old people that'll file through here, some of them just spectating, others that are, just judging, or some that'll be just buying, to manage the event so that they still enjoy the experience and that we're not boxed in like animals at a zoo is colossal. They've had a colossal job here, given the background leading up to this event 7 or 8 days ago, just to get this event off the ground from all of the challenges around WorkSafe. So I don't think you'd find a more professional team in any sport or commercial selling operation anywhere in the country than the team behind Nutrien and indeed the staff at ALEC to get this event to happen, given what we're seeing everywhere with hotspots and not, we're scanning a QR code to enter the show, and that's effectively it, so long as we're social distancing.
Yes.
Like, it is colossal. And there's signage and everything to remind us, but the biggest thing we need is people just to help the committee now and help Nutrien make it happen, because they've done their job. It's up to us now to make sure we keep it all together for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, the fact that, like, they really couldn't plan this until a week or 2 weeks out from the event. Like, that's a pretty mammoth thing to have to handle. And, yeah, hats off to them for doing that for sure.
So, Sean, obviously the social distancing won't be a big drama to you. You're going to be out there on your own, on your pedestal.
5'6" whip I use, so that's my bubble. I'm protected completely.
So what the competitors out there, what are they, you know, what do they expect from you to, you know, with the cattle and your run and how, what are they to expect when they see you in the bubble out the front and
Well, I just don't want them to be nervous, and we might talk about something to do with the actual challenge later on, what I think it adds to this event. But this is a camp draft. Everyone that's riding here has done this in a lower scale event somewhere else, and they haven't felt the sense of expectation. And, you know, this is their one run, and there's all the prize money and the special event that we just talked about. But it's a camp draft.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, they're going to have either 8 or 7 head of cattle to choose from.
Yeah.
You know, we're going 8 to 6. They've got 40 seconds to do their job outside. I don't have rigid bounds in that, you know, if they use the arena, I'll use my points accordingly. They've paid for the privilege of being here via a significant investment in initially purchasing the horse and then secondly training it, you know, and feeding it and looking after it. So I want them to enjoy the experience. Obviously there will be nerves, but don't, you know, I'm not a big, bad, scary judge. I've got a loud voice, so they'll hear me clearly, and that sometimes puts them under pressure.
Yeah.
But so long as I won't rush them, you know, like we have got a dedicated time program. I'm at the back end of every one of them, so I've got a little bit of luxury of time. Obviously, we're not going to be here all night, but they've got the opportunity to go through their cattle and take the same amount of time as the one did before them, whether the run terminated quickly or it took 40 seconds and we had to clear the arena. I'll let them have their time, provided they don't waste it. And if that's what it needs, just that extra 5 seconds to settle themselves, because let's remember they're riding 3, 4 and 5-year-old horses.
Yeah.
If the rider's nervous, more than likely the horse is going to get nervous, and that lowers the standard of competition. So from my point of view, I don't have a predisposition to who wins the money. I just want everyone's horse to be shown to the best of its ability, and the best way to do that is to relax the competitor. The rules are the same. We talked about that the other day. The rules are the same whether they're coming from below Perth, coming from Victoria or the Northern Territory. We all ride under the same rules. You know, that side of it's going to be easy for them to interpret, just so long as they don't feel any extra pressure from me. That's what I'm out to achieve.
You know, as a competitor, Dillo, I want to thank you for saying that, because there's a lot of people out there that come to an event like this and go, oh, it's, you know, it's a massive event, it's scary, it's a bit intimidating, but at the end of the day, like you said, it's another camp draft, and there's cattle in the yard that we've got to put around the pegs, and you know, there's one judge out the front watching you, and that's at the end of the day all that matters. So yeah, thank you for putting that across, and I really hope that will help some competitors, especially the younger ones coming through. And there is going to be a number of those, and we've got that, you know, the incentive for the younger people in the challenge and whatnot going through. So it's important that I think we look after the younger generation and the new people to the sport too.
Another huge thing is we've seen Matt and Kylie Webber's cattle in the open camp draft today.
Weren't they fantastic?
Outstanding.
Yeah.
We move on to the Knight family.
Yep. So I've been over and had a look. They've arrived. They've travelled in really good. The team at Martins do, you know, the consummate professionals with moving livestock. They've come in, they've travelled in well. There's a couple of B-doubles of them unloaded. They'll get the chance to settle overnight now and cool down, because it has been, you know, warm without hot. The team here at Nutrien will have them on feed and water and really look after them. You know, and they'll be a different, because of their breed, they're going to be a little different. You know, Wagyu, Angus cross, they're the same sort of weight. They'll run a little different, but you know, I would expect with the surface we've got that they'll be true and fair.
Yes. I believe we've got these F1s for the whole first round and the second round too, so it's nice to have that consistency across the entire camp draft.
Definitely. You know, Tom Armitage's cattle will be of a similar genetic base, so you know, I think we'll be fine. And then obviously back to Elliston for the final, so I think we'll be in for a good show.
Fantastic.
Once again, extremely excited to be here. Day one, everyone was just, you know, the Nutrien team gave everyone a sleep in today. They didn't crack the whip till 7:30.
I get to sleep in every day. I don't start till lunch, so it's easy.
That's the go.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just one of those things. Everyone, you know, can't wait to get out there, show their horse off, talk to vendors, get through the catalogue and see what they can buy to come back and start planning for next year. So,
righto, so tomorrow, Dillo, we've got the Pride's Easy Feed Performance Horse Challenge. And as a competitor myself, I really enjoy getting a young horse ready for an event like this, and I think it helps me in camp drafting and helps me with that little bit of control. But as a camp drafter yourself, what's your opinion on seeing these challenge horses come through and convert to camp drafting?
Yeah, there's two elements to it. There's the horse converting, but I think there's a big ticket or a big tick in the box for allowing some of our younger competitors or less experienced competitors to have another opportunity at competition. You know, they're not just warming up in the warm-up arena. They're actually doing something directly related to camp drafting. And, there might be a dry pattern they do first, or depending on their run, it could be their cow working section. So it gets them in the groove, because they're not a grizzled old camp drafter that's been doing it for 35 years, and so it gives them an opportunity to be competitive.
Yes.
And then from the horse's point of view, it has the same effect again. That they've got to use some nervous energy coming back into the big shed, which of course they all got sold through. So there's, that it's not as scary as it would have been when they first presented. But a lot of these horses have travelled, well over 1,000 kilometres to be here. And we know the nature of camp drafting. It can be all over very quickly. But if they've got the challenge, they've just got a multifaceted reason for being here.
Yes.
There is a solid grounding that's put onto horses. They definitely can handle different styles of training better if they go through it. But I think it's more about just the settling in.
Yes.
And let's not forget, people make a really big investment in a lot of these horses, and it just gives them another competitive element to add. So, I mean, it's certainly not a negative. And the only negative is for people like me that try and transform over there, and we get a bit nervous when we're doing that old dry pattern to put a cow in there, and it's pretty cool. But no, honestly, it is a really good thing for both our, emerging camp draft competitors. And I mean, these horses go on, they may not even place in the challenge, but if they do that as a 4-year-old, look out for them as a camp horse as a 5-year-old.
That's right. I think it's important too that it's also creating interest in, the riders bettering their ability to get a horse broken, to get a horse shown and to ride a pattern. And, I don't think that goes astray. I think that's something that you can use as a horseman down the track anywhere. So by having that, here, that facility here, and that event here for them to ride in is really something that'll help them down the track anyway, to be able to show in and improve themselves. So,
well, Sean, just going back a little bit, of course Felicity loves a Pride Easy Performance Challenge.
She might have a Navajo trailer somewhere, I reckon.
It's here, actually.
She's left this facility a couple of years ago, with a $20,000 trailer. And that is just one of those things that, we've seen El Sol come out and, she won a round of the Classic. Then she won, draft after draft. And you see her at Warwick and you see her at all these big shows. We see so many horses now that have come through as a graduate, and we started to speak on it last year. Graduates of the Sale, Hells are coming, Shakira Spin, Geom Hard, all these horses go and win Cloncurry, now they're looking back and they're going, that come out of Landmark or Nutrien or whatever. So we could technically, down there you see a few of those horses in the open camp draft. They've come through this program.
Definitely.
And now they've got that age on their side. They are superstars in their own right, but it all started here.
That's right, yep. And so, we've got dams and sires going through the sale ring and then coming back, or their progeny coming back and winning stuff here at the challenge. It's pretty exceptional.
And we've got 2 generations of competitors doing the same thing.
Yeah,
we've got father, son, mother, son, daughter. So it's, the event has become that social thing as well. It's transcending generations with people and horses, and it's the challenge adds to that competitive element of being here for 10 days.
Yeah, that's right. It's fantastic, isn't it?
Thank you, Sean, for spending some time on the wrap-up tonight. We're going to go to a short break. We'll come back and go through some entrants in the prize Easy Feed Performance Horse Challenge.
So tomorrow we kick off with the Pride's Easy Feed Performance Horse Challenge. That's always a really exciting event. I believe there's $77,000 worth of cash and prizes, including a Navajo trailer up for grabs, Brett.
Valued at $20,000 from Peel Tribe and the gang up there. It is, once again, phenomenal prize. God, you'd like to have one, but obviously, honey, yeah.
They're not bad. I can sort of vouch for that. They go all right. They tow pretty good, and you can fit a few horses on there. So they're certainly a good price to have in your garage, that's for sure.
109 entries, Felicity.
Yeah, and in those entries we'll see the likes of G. I'm Hard come back. He's last year's challenge winner. He was also the 2019 Cloncurry Stockman's Challenge winner, won it as a 3-year-old, and he's back here now as a 5-year-old. So that's pretty exciting. We've got some others that are coming back through the challenge that are, out of or by graduates through the sale. So we're seeing that second generation of horse come through. What have you seen, Brett, in the program that's interested you?
Well, one that's pretty close to home on the panel up here, though I believe there's one out of El Solar.
There is actually, yes, by Oaks Playboy. He was a horse that we had of our own, and bred and sold this colt for $21,000 to Jim Newsom. So wish Jim all the best, and hope he does really well.
Not only that, Felicity, we've seen the Willinga Park yearling sale, filly sale, be eligible to come to the Classic. We've got 3 graduates out of that sale competing here in the challenge. There's horses in there by Millionic Chick out of Wishes of Huey.
Yeah.
There's a horse out of Shakira Spin.
Yep, by Hard Hat Henry, sold for $45,000 as a yearling at the Willinga Park sale in 2018. Things like that, horses like this, of this calibre, coming back through here to compete for this big money, it's pretty awesome.
Luke Bennett, he rides some amazing horses in there. I know he's got horses for Sue Brosnan. Add all these horses up, you can look down the road, there's millions of dollars worth of horses here.
And we're talking per purchaser, hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's amazing that they'll invest that much money in this sport. It just goes to show the backing behind it and the prize money that's up for grabs. It's obviously worth competing for.
Now, 6:30 they kick off with the open camp draft.
Mm-hmm.
Second section of the first round.
Yes.
8 a.m. kick off in the main arena with the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
What a day for day 2 of the Nutrien Classic.
Unbelievable, hey. And then they follow on with the rest of with the Classic after the challenge starts. Then they have the Classic camp draft in the afternoon. So that's the day that everyone's waiting for.
I did miss a horse that was here in the challenge tomorrow, a horse by the name of Yavin Spinnercat.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We've seen him go through the cutting program. He has now taken over into the camp draft world like a duck to water.
Yep.
Armadale camp draft last weekend runs 290 points runs to win the maiden camp draft. You tell me Tom Williamson's not going to belt him up the front and go for 90 again here tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. And there's a number of big riders, big name riders like that that'll be bringing back a horse that, that have come through. That horse there went through the ring for $130,000. These horses are really exciting to come back and see, and I'll be the first one hanging off the camp fence, watching these horses put 2 and 2 together and put them around the pegs tomorrow.
Just long as COVID's
There's
safe.
some distancing happening, that's right. You've got to stay that far away from me, Brett, all right?
Okay. Tomorrow's roundup, we will recap the proceedings that we have at the ALEC Centre at Tamworth. We're going to start with the second half of the first round of the Martin Stock Haulage Open Camp Draft, the first half of the first round of the Nutrien Classic Camp Draft. We will have the first round, the full dry work round of the Pride's Easy Feed Performance Horse Challenge. What a day to recap. We will have the Navajo Trailers Masters Camp Draft, which is running right now. A big, big day to come to you tomorrow night, so stay tuned.